sound and vision.
Yes, I've broadcast on
David
Facebook
Bowie for
Live
you, little
before.
sound
It's
and
fine.
vision.
It's fine.
All right, that's from the Low album, by the way. All right, here we are.
Nobody
This is
cares.
episode 37. This is Film Banter, the bantering of film, the appreciation of movies.
You should look at the camera.
The cinematic essence of. I don't need to. I like to go off like this.
Off to the yonder.
Yes, I like to do kind of a, you know, like I'm into the wild blue yonder, up and away into the sky. Anyway, here we are. It's episode 37. Blah 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 bullshit. Okay,
Yes,
so
we
we're
know
back.
what it is.
We know what it is, and we're now going to start the show. And I will begin as always, and I'm going to give you a little fanfare.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. We're going to begin tonight's show. We're going to begin the show with a little ditty known as War Machine. Now, we have a heart there.
Somebody's enjoying the show.
Someone's enjoying the show.
Yay.
We don't know who you are, but we appreciate your heart.
We do appreciate the heart.
And, you know, it's all about the heart, isn't it, though?
It's probably
all
somebody we know.
a stem from the heart. It probably is.
Hang on, you
because
took the list away. We
it
need
can't
the
be
list.
anybody that we don't know, because one
like
never
this
does
list.
that. Oh, God. Well, you know, if you did this, perhaps.
I tried, it fell.
Well, let's try it again. Okay, so we're going to start the show. This is Bid Chad. If
No, it's
none
not.
Of you, oh, no, it's not.
Not
Forgive me.
anymore, not this
No,
week.
it's not Bid Chad. I'm just so used to saying that.
For those of you who
But,
don't know,
for
Big
those
Chat
who
is a
don't
site
know
we usually
what
stream
we
on.
are, who we are.
They're not on tonight.
We do
The
a
site
little,
is down for maintenance.
We do a show called Film Banter. We're here. This is our first Facebook show. We're hoping that it's going to work properly without any kind of glitches and horrible.
It seems so far so good. It looks
so far,
beautiful.
so good. I look magnificent. You look your usual self.
Yes.
But
Equally magnificent, I
No,
hope.
you look equally magnificent. It's true. Magnificently like a douchebag. No, you look wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so we're going to, but we
So-
review films here. That's what we do. We like to. I like how my camera on my phone, it adjusts.
It's autofocus.
It's autofocus. That's
Yes.
so bloody cool.
Let's see what somebody's saying. Hopefully everything's going
So,
well.
but anyway, so we review movies here. We're going to be reviewing about 8 or 9 films tonight, hopefully with a little bit, and then later on we're going to do a
Second look.
That's right.
Second
A second look, where I take a second look at another film,
Second.
namely La La Land. But tonight we're going to be featuring War Machine with Brad Pitt. We're going to be doing the art life of David Lynch.
We
We're
are.
going to be doing Below Her Mouth, which is a wonderful little independent film that I personally will be reviewing. And then we're going to do The Woman of Wonder herself,
Our
the
fourth
$103
feature. Yes.
million weekend of
How much was it again?
103 mil.
Nice.
As the biggest by a female director
is,
of all
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I don't know why that should matter, a female director.
Well, it
But,
matters to people that care about that stuff.
Yeah, it does indeed. So who cares? But
I just want a good movie. I don't care who directs it.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And I hope you got it. I hope you got a good movie out of Wonder Woman.
We'll see.
We'll find out later. You're so secretive and mysterious.
I like being mysterious.
I know you do.
Then
That's
people can
right.
just shut it off because we already gave our
It's very
views
important.
and
You know, but
opinions,
most people, you know, about all your mysteriousness, they kind of feel that it's just a gassy, you know, beatitude. So, all right, so I'm going to begin our beloved show tonight. I'm going to be reviewing War Machine. War Machine is a film starring the amazingly recently separated Brad Pitt. It was written and directed by the same man, which can very often be a hazard.
That's true.
And
He's not an actor in a film, too.
No, I don't
Okay,
believe. He
so
probably
that's-
has a cameo.
Sometimes that's the trifecta
He-
of trouble.
It probably is, but he does, in fact, I don't know if he has a cameo or not, but it's not important. Okay, this film, is this a good movie? I'm going to have to say it's a 2-star, 2.5-star kind of film. War Machine, we've seen a lot of advertisement for it lately. It's Brad Pitt plays a general. Oh, heavens.
Oh, wow.
You know, we may turn this off for now.
We don't need it.
Because it just seems to just kind of irritate.
Why does it go off on its own?
I
That's
don't
weird.
know. It's called irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
think that's what it is. It's got IBS, dude. And, you know, sometimes it just goes off on itself, just like your own bowels do. But anyway, so, okay, this is not a great film by any means. I think we can kind of breeze by it quickly.
Why don't you speculate?
Although, I am going to say this, that Mr. Brad Pitt is wonderful in this movie. It is not his fault. I commend Brad
Yeah.
wholeheartedly for a great attempt at a good performance. He's really very, very good. He plays kind of a stern, rigid, kind of conservative fellow. And it's just the dialogue. This film goes nowhere quickly.
Yeah.
If you can get through literally the first hour of this film, which was torture. I'm telling you, just torture to do for me. And I'm going to grab my turkey neck there. Gobble, gobble. But yeah, it was torture for me to get through the first hour. But once I got through the first hour, then it started to pick up, and it started to, there are characters here. It doesn't know whether to be a comedy. It doesn't know whether to be a drama. It doesn't know whether to be serious or funny or absurd and satirical. And yet at the same time, it just
Because they're
doesn't go
marketing it as a
anywhere.
big satire.
They are, well,
Yeah.
they're kind of marketing as that, but it's also a bona fide. They're trying to push it. Now, it has a lot of great cameos, though.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton is in the film.
Okay.
She's terrific as a reporter. The guy from the OA, once again, he's in that.
He's in everything now.
now. I
Yeah.
can't think of his name. You probably don't know it either.
I knew it last week.
You knew it last
I'll
week,
tell you right
but
now.
you gotta look it up on your phone.
I don't remember everybody's name. Most names I remember.
Try some of
Thanks.
this, dude.
Maybe I'll remember after this.
Maybe you won't. But, thanks, dude.
Smooth. Continue.
Okay. Great film, no. Russell Crowe makes. You know who's really?
Oh, you
amazing?
ruined it. He's in it?
Yeah, he's a very brief cameo.
Oh, I like that.
Well,
I love
why?
Russell.
I can't tell you that he.
Well,
Russell
cameos are
Crowe's-
fun because they're a surprise.
Well, you're not going to watch this movie, are you?
I might actually watch
You
it.
might watch it down the road. But Brad is great. in
Emery
this film.
Cohen was his name.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's from the OA. He's been in a lot of
Yes.
stuff. He's a little guy. He's a character actor. I just saw him recently. He was
Vincent
in,
and Roxy he was in.
He was in Vincent and Roxy.
Couple weeks
yeah, he
ago
played
we
the
reviewed that
brother
film. Yeah.
of Emil Hirsch in that film. Not a great film. I can't really recommend War Machine. It's just... but Anthony Michael Hall, who you remember from the Vacation films, he was the young son. He was the blonde
Well, he was
kid.
in a lot of stuff other than
Been
that.
a lot of stuff. When I went to see Vacation in Illinois many, many years ago,
Yes.
he happened to be at the theater that night.
Really?
Yes. And when the film was over, he stood in the back of the theater and he yelled out at the top of his lungs, "Hey, what about that kid? That kid was great."
That's pretty funny.
Which was funny. I mean, it was pretty cool. And everyone's going, "Oh, look at that."
I think he was only in the first one, actually.
I think he may have.
Because they had
only been-
different kids, I believe, in every single one.
Did they?
Yeah. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
okay. Well,
But
there
he
you
was
go.
in Weird Science. He was in The Breakfast Club.
Correct.
He was in the Dead Zone TV
Was
show.
he in the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, he was the nerdy guy. Remember the nerdy kid?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just remember Judd Hirsch and
Judd
Ali
Hirsch.
Sheedy.
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson and
Judd
Ali
Hirsch is
Sheedy.
Dear John.
Yeah, Judd Hirsch wouldn't have been in that film, would he? No, Judd Hirsch, of course, is from Taxi.
Yes. But Dear
Okay.
John also.
Got a ixnay War
So it's a
Machine.
no.
It's a no.
It's a no.
It's a definite no. But Brad is very, very good. And Brad co-produced this film.
Okay.
He tried hard, but it's basically about the. And once again, I'm gonna keep talking here
Yeah.
just because that's what I do. It's about a Rolling Stone. This is they're using a facsimile for his name in the film. I believe is Glenn. Glenn something or other. Glenn. I think it's McMahon. Believe it or not, I'm not
Is it?
kidding. I think it is. It is
Okay.
McMahon. He plays Glenn McMahon, but it's based on an actual general who kind of went down. He was in Obama's army,
Mm-hmm.
and he was sent to Afghanistan, and he kind of screwed things up by kind of saying, yeah, and he just kind of moved into villages and created a war when there wasn't one, which was not a good thing. And then a guy from Rolling Stone magazine comes and kind of exposes the whole thing and makes them out to just be horrendous human beings. And notice Zeus above my head up there. You can see him right up there. I'm gonna
Is
put
that
my-
supposed to be Zeus?
I'm going to put my finger in his mouth right there. I believe that might be Medusa, actually. And notice the little things around her head there. But anyway, that is kind of a cool image. Of course, you folks there can't see that on YouTube. But anyway, War Machine's a no.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your review.
We're
I'll
going to
watch
move right
it in
on.
10 years, probably.
We're going to move right on to The Art Life of David Lynch.
A new
Ticket, Mr.
documentary.
Picard. Yes, it is.
So, if you're a David Lynch fan, you'll love this documentary.
You will.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, over the years we get glimpses of him. We see a lot of pictures of him with the crazy hair, and you see a lot of behind the scenes of you've heard, most people have heard a lot about what he went through to make Elephant Man, Eraserhead, and obviously he did do Elephant Man after that.
Obviously.
Dune, a lot of Twin Peaks, a lot of great stuff. Blue Velvet, of course. So this really gets into the nitty gritty of how he became an artist, and his first, I guess, vessel to art was painting, the most organic type of art, you could say, and how he really got into that as a young man, and how that really allowed him to really explore this passion, and that eventually led to film. And we really see him in his home, in his studio. He tells the story of his childhood. I really enjoyed learning all about his family life growing up.
Yeah.
His father and how he really admired his
What a
father.
great guy
his
he was.
mother,
And his
how
great
great
mother,
she was.
great mother
his
he had.
siblings. And
Wonderful family. that he
most
had.
people would probably think that somebody who makes art as strange as him, that
A
he
man
must
who
have
was as
had
strange, he must have
a
had a
messed
really
up
bad-
child.
I
But
agree.
that doesn't
Totally
always
true.
ring true.
It is absolutely the
And
truth
I
here.
found this to be a very fascinating documentary.
I did too.
He's very frank in it. He's very,
Well, he's a frank
this
man.
is who I am.
He's a very frank guy.
Yeah, he makes no apologies.
True.
I love how he's 72 years old, whatever, and he's still chain
He's
smoking,
70, yeah.
drinking coffee.
That bothers me to see David smoking as much
But he's
as he
been
does. Because
smoking his whole life.
I don't want to lose David Lynch.
Well,
He's
you know it's
really
going to happen
one of my
eventually,
favorite guys.
unfortunately.
What? Not necessarily. I know many people.
Everybody
that
dies.
smoke.
Every man
everybody-
dies. Not every man really
everybody
lives.
dies. No, everybody hurts. I believe is the song.
No, I was doing the quote from Braveheart. Every man
No, I
dies.
was
Not every
doing,
man really
I was
lives.
doing Everybody Hurts from R.E.M.
I know you are.
But anyway.
Everybody, most depressing song ever. You want to
It
just
is.
slit your wrists with
But you're missing one basic
blade.
factor, and well, you mentioned it very slightly, but this is truly a narrative
It is.
of David's early life.
It is.
We see him composing a painting while he's telling the story.
Yes.
We kind of move in and out from photographs and little films and so forth of him.
A lot of his artwork.
A lot of his artwork is on display here. He's an amazing human being, in my humble opinion. I love listening to him talk. This is not for everybody, this film. If you're a David Lynch fan, you're going to love it. For me, the most disappointing thing of this film was the fact that right as it got interesting, right as he actually goes into his film career, and he starts talking about Eraserhead, which he did for about a solid 8 to 10 minutes.
good time, yeah.
Right. But then I wanted to hear about
Everything
Elephant
else.
Man and
And
Blue
it died.
Velvet
Yeah.
and Wild at Heart, and we cut off.
Documentary ends,
The film's
yeah.
only an hour and 30 minutes long, on the nose, and you know something that just got good for me.
I know.
So I was very disappointed to see it end. But if you're a David Lynch fan, it's a big yes. I think it's a yes for anybody interested in film.
I agree 100%.
Anybody interested in just what makes a filmmaker a filmmaker.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. So that's two solid yeses.
And one of the beautiful things about David Lynch, if you analyze his career, as we must and we have, and indeed by just simply watching him as much as we do, that is the fact that this guy went from making a movie like Eraserhead, which is such a strange, bizarre, totally off the cuff, totally weird film, then Mel Brooks saw Eraserhead, and Mel Brooks said, here's the guy I want to make Elephant Man.
Yeah.
And then he makes a complete and totally mind-boggling,
Heartbreaking film.
brilliant
Yeah.
piece of work where, like in Eraserhead, we don't have a lot of acting going on. But David Lynch went from amateur filmmaker to pro overnight, literally. Eraserhead was done in like 77, and I believe Elephant Man came out, 82 or so?
Yeah, and then he went to Blue Velvet, and then he went to Dune.
Amazing. I know.
Amazing.
Well, true. Blue Velvet 82, and then Dune was 84, and he's totally disassociated himself from Dune, which is a horrible film, which...
I grew up on that film and I enjoy it for what it was. I mean, he did a great job with what he was.
Well, he left the film about halfway through, and it was taken over by.
Oh, really, I didn't know that.
Absolutely
Halfway
true.
through?
Yeah, absolutely.
That much?
Yeah.
That early?
He directed like the Sting thing, and maybe only half. And if you'll notice on whenever they have somebody who leaves the production and they are no longer involved, they use the pseudonym Alan Smithy.
Yeah.
And Alan Smithy is a compilation of a director. There could be 5 directors.
It's true.
And yet they use the name Alan Smithy just to.
But that wasn't released as an Alan Smithy film because that's known to be a David Lynch
Well,
film.
it was released as a David Lynch film, I believe, at the time. But David took his name right off of it. I don't even think he's credited as director anymore.
I don't know. I disagree.
If
I
you
think
look
he
on
is.
IMDb,
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
think
he
you're going to
is.
see his name on
I
there.
think we will.
I truly do.
I'm pretty sure
you
we will.
might, in the fact, I know it's under his credits. It's under David's credit as one of his films. Anyway, we're going on a little bit too long. I'm going to move right on here while this young man is checking that out, dude. Okay. But, I'm trying to move our camera just
Don't do it too much. It's going to fall over.
I know, but I just want to go this way.
Doesn't matter. Nobody's watching anyway.
Look, now they can see you, my friend. See what I'm saying now? You see what I mean?
Well, a little bit.
Look how old I am. I got these lines here. I really look in my face when I look at my face. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Dune, 1984. He's there.
Yeah. He's there. Okay, so gonna move right on. We love David Lynch.
We did. I
love the man.
He's great. I
he's in
enjoyed
my
the
heart. He's in my
documentary.
soul.
I like the moments with him and his very young daughter. She's sitting in his lap.
Lola.
And
Lola.
He's teaching her how to do this and do that.
I know.
It's very cute.
So loving.
I didn't know he had such a young daughter.
Yeah.
I know he's got a bunch of kids.
I looked at his repertoire of wives. He's got 3 wives. His His first one was the Kathy.
She was featured in the.
She was in the feature. She was
they
not
got
in
divorced.
Eraserhead.
No, but she divorced
was,
when they were doing that film.
I believe that may be true.
Yeah.
They were only married for a short amount of
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
He
yeah.
did have a daughter with him, known as Jennifer Lynch. She was a
Yes.
director on her own.
Yes.
Not a great director by any means, Boxing Helena. But
We
she
talked
did
about
do
her, I
a
think, last
great
week.
little movie called Chained, which I love that film with Vincent D'Onofrio. It's one of the sickest serial killer movies you'll ever see out there. It's called Chained. It's from like 2007 or something. Oh my God, what a sick film. I loved it. It was really, really horrifying and brutal and intense and creepy as hell. Okay, I think we've done enough there.
Yeah, we can move
but
on.
David has he is a man. He's a human being, and he lives his life as honestly as anybody he's a total. There are no chapter stops on any of his films.
No, that's true.
He doesn't want anybody to be fast forwarding through his movies.
No, they
he
don't.
wants you to simply sit and watch the film in one sitting, one experience, and I love that about the man. He's a purist, and he's a great artist, no
Yes.
question. We're going to move on now to a film that I happen to really love. This is a great little movie called Below Her Mouth. It's a strange title, I know. It is a movie. It is a love story, first and foremost. It is about two women who fall in love. The one woman who plays the man character of the two women, she's a Swedish actress. This is the only film she's ever made. This film came out probably about 2 years ago. It's a 2015 film. I tell you something, this is one of the most honest depictions of a love story I have seen on film in, I can't remember when. I can't remember a film so honest, so beautifully acted. At times I felt like, and this is how you know a great movie is in front of you. When you see actors and they make you feel embarrassed because you're watching a private moment that almost isn't meant to be seen.
I know what you're saying.
It's like when you see a friend of yours break down and cry, or a friend of yours have a moment that you almost feel that you should not be privy to. And that's the kind of movie this is. It's got a lot of love in it, a lot of graphic love scenes. It's two women. They're in love. There's a passion here that I have not seen. I haven't seen this in real life. I don't know people that have this kind of passion in their life. I was envious of that kind of passion. I was amazed. I was blown away by this movie. Absolutely 100%. I cannot recommend it enough. As I say, this is an adult film. It's not an X-rated film, but it is an.
But it's made for adults.
It's an NC-17 film. There is graphic love scenes in this film, but it's so beautifully done, so beautifully acted. I wholeheartedly, I loved
yes,
it.
huh?
I loved it. I truly, truly
Cool.
did.
I can't wait to see it.
All
Sounds
righty,
great.
it is now that time, ladies and gentlemen. We're
The
going
moment
to tout.
you've been waiting for?
Yeah. Charge it. Okay. That was what Wilma Flintstone always played. She played this little on taps thing, and then she'd take Fred Flintstone's credit card and then she'd yell, "Charge it!"
That's
she'd
right,
run
yeah.
to the store. But you don't remember that. You were just.
No, vaguely. I'm vaguely remembering that. I
think
watched
you
the
were-
Flintstones as a kid.
I think you were running down Dad's leg at
I
that
might have been.
particular point.
But I
in
think
your
I still
life.
remember
I think
watching
you
it
were
as I
just
was
a-
sliding
you
down
were
his
dribble.
calf.
You were dribble sliding.
I
You
was.
just hit Dad's knee when
Thank
that
you.
particular point in 1966 came to be. So there we go. So we're going to start. Mr. Picard here is going to go into Miss
Wonder Woman, I don't think we really need to get too much into the storyline. I think you all know who Wonder Woman is. Woman. Well, I'm going to do briefly. I'm still going
I
to
would
tell
go
it
into
brief.
the fact that this film does go into her background. We
Well,
don't
that's
see
the
we don't
thing.
see that in so many
No, we
superhero
don't.
films.
That's what I was going to touch
Yeah.
on only, was really that, we really do see a glimpse of her that we haven't seen on film before. We get to see a little bit of her home world. They're the Amazon women.
we are privy to the
They're,
Amazons.
they live on an island that is secluded in the middle of the ocean, it kind of looks like.
Mesophonia or
Whatever
something
it's
like
called.
that. Yeah.
And it has like a fog that keeps it hidden. It's almost like a force field in a way, kind of looks
Correct.
like at times.
Yes.
And so right off the bat, we learn that this is a civilization of very unique and powerful women who are
Run by women. There are no
run by
men
women.
anywhere.
They are the prototypes of Zeus.
No cocksmen
I'm sorry,
in
the
sight.
creation of Zeus.
Yes.
And so we see young little Wonder Woman, also known as Diana, throughout the entire film.
Yes.
As a little girl,
Played
then
by
as
the
a
beautifully
teenager,
astounding Miss Gal
and
Gadot.
then Gal Gadot as she's an adult. And
That's
so
correct.
right away, a World War I plane crashes in the water, and she jumps in to save Chris Pine,
Chris Pine, who
who
plays
was
that
an
man.
American soldier who's working as a spy for the British.
Correct.
and he has stolen some secret documents from the Germans. And needs to get this back to
he's a
the
spy.
British intel.
He is
That's
a
what I
spy.
just said.
Okay.
I said he's an American spy working for the British.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And he has to bring these secret plans to his British intelligence officers.
Yes, he does.
So she meets him, and they end up teaming up, and they go to the front lines, basically. And so we see her.
Well, you're kind of skipping over quite a bit, but that's okay.
We don't need to go through every single plot.
No, we
point.
don't.
We don't. As you always
I
say,
think we could just give a
not too much.
generalization of how much we love the film, what the film
that's what I'm doing.
encompassed. How was it as a storytelling machine?
Yeah, and
how was it?
was
as,
trying to get to that until you
for it.
came
There
in.
you go.
Overall, I really enjoyed the film. I really thought it was very well done. I really, really loved the score. I know that that's not a huge thing,
It was
but
a great score.
I really find that the score is very important for me. And I love the score on this film.
Mm-hmm.
It really engaged me. I thought she was excellent as Wonder Woman. I thought she did a much better job in this film than she did as Wonder Woman in her brief appearance in Superman versus Batman.
It was more almost like a cameo in
it was,
Batman
but I
versus
thought her
Superman.
acting was much better in this than in that.
Oh, really?
I thought so,
Oh, I
in my
thought,
opinion.
I
thought she did a great job in this
I
film.
thought she was great in the first film also, but
Yeah,
but it only touched. That was only a teaser
That was
for
a
what
tease.
this film was to be, and this is a full-fledged
Performance,
biography of
biography
Miss
of this
Wonder
character,
Woman.
and she did a great job.
Okay.
I thought her chemistry was very good with Chris Pine, who,
And
as
his with
usual,
her.
is excellent. I
Yeah.
thought he had some fantastic scenes in this film.
Yeah, he's
I thought he
terrific.
was great.
He's
He's
terrific.
just a solid actor.
Absolutely
excellent.
true.
There's a great supporting crew of a team of miscreants that join them in their fight halfway through the film.
Yeah.
They were fun. I liked that a lot. I thought the pace was a little slow at times.
A little
I got
bit.
a little antsy, but
Perhaps.
overall, I was pleased.
It's a 2 hour and
22-minute film, something
yeah,
like
but
that.
there's 10 minutes of credits, so it ended right
Well,
around
usually-
the two. It
usually
ended
they don't
right
count
around
the
2
credits in the
right around
in
the
the running
2 hour
time.
mark. It ended right at
Did
2
it?
hours. Yep,
You know that for sure?
I know that for sure.
Okay. Danny Houston
The
played
film
the
itself,
villain.
the credits went on.
David Thewlis was also in the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I was very pleased with it. I thought it was the strongest so far of the DC films.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts are this. If you read the reviews on Wonder Woman, it's like the second coming of Christ has come down.
Let's
and
not get that
landed
high, that
upon
far.
our wondrous comic book world. I don't think the film was quite all that. However, what the film did have that most but super power movies, comic book superheroes have, is that this literally went through an emotional kind of a ride where we got some romance, we got some drama, we got comedy, we got the essence of what great films really are about, and that's what I did love about it. And we don't see that in these kind of superhero films ever. Every single superhero movie, Marvel's right down the line, they've got one thing only to do, and that is to perpetrate their power as that superhero person, or be it in the Marvel world of the X-Men, or be it the Hulk or whatever. At times we get a little bit of a drama surrounding the up and coming of that particular superhero. And Spider-Man, obviously, we're now getting, for the fucking, pardon my French, the third time in a row now, or the new reboot.
Well,
of
he's the
Spider-Man.
third
It's
Spider-Man
just so depressing,
actor.
Totally true, but
Yeah.
But the thing I did love about this movie, let me just do this for a moment, like most, young directors do. They like to push their hair back like this, but you know what? I'm not a director, by the way. I'm just a humanoid like you all there. Like this guy here. But but I did love the fact that it took the time to emote us. It took the time to present a story that was fresh and new, and that's what, was it a great movie? I gotta say, it's not a 4-star film for me.
It's not for me either, but I enjoyed it.
3.5-star film. I enjoyed it.
3 stars, 3.5 stars.
I loved watching her. She almost does a bit of a Clark Kent kind of a thing when they dress her up when she
that
gets
scene
to
was
London.
great. That was great.
And she kind of has to go undercover because she can't walk around in her Wonder Woman
Don't
garb.
carry that sword.
Although I'll tell you something, I kind of liked her in a Wonder Woman garb, if you know what I mean.
This
She
movie
would
had more
suffocate.
comedy than I expected,
Absolutely true.
which was necessary.
Well, it is
because
good.
DC is usually very anal retentive about that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I did notice at the end of the film, a lot of people were hanging out, waiting for their Marvel moment when,
Not in this one.
Not in DC.
I wasted 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
No end
Nobody,
credits
I
scene.
knew in my gut, this is not a Marvel movie. There's not going to be that little 10-minute
Well, I
segment.
think they
where they're
had
gonna
one at
go
the end
and
of Batman
do
versus
a
Superman,
flashback.
though. You know, I think they did.
I don't think they did.
I thought they did.
They
Well, maybe
may
it was
have.
a mid-credits scene. I know there was
Well,
something.
I think there was a little bit of something, but
Yeah.
it wasn't even mid-credits. It was maybe 3 minutes
Well,
into
whatever
the
it
credits.
was, there was something.
Yeah, I mean, they just had directed by, this is a da-da-da film. They didn't even show the cast, and then they went into the scene.
And in my opinion, that's when it should be. Like
I
a
think I know
band
what
coming
it was,
back for
too.
the encore.
Yeah, yeah.
It shouldn't have to be at the end.
Well, we see the Superman has just died in that film.
Yes.
And I believe we see the coffin. I think
Yes,
it kind
yes,
of moves up a little bit in that final moment just to give us some
I think
hope
that's what we had, yeah.
that old Soupy has not expired. So, but I absolutely was entertained. That's the bottom
So was
line. I really love Gal Gadot, Miss Israel, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
She's an absolute bloody knockout. This woman is ridiculous hot. This woman is so amazingly, stunningly gorgeous that sitting there as a mere mortal in the movie theater, I felt like, God, you know, we truly, we humans, we sit here and we go to these movies and we sit and watch these beautiful people, you know, escapade and go through all these outrageous, wonderful things before us. And it's just mind-boggling, the beauty of this particular woman in this film. I must say, though, the ending, it is kind of reduced more so to a standard superhero kind of ending. We go into that big giant
fight, you know.
finale with a person of absolute extraordinary powers,
Yes.
played by David Thewlis.
Well, no. You just don't give things away. You're
I
giving away a
suppose maybe,
spoiler.
but
That's a huge spoiler.
I guess you're quite right.
gotta
If you
be
hadn't
careful.
mentioned it was a spoiler, nobody would know. If you had just kept your mouth shut about it being a spoiler.
No, but I have
But
to
here's
warn
my
people.
point. We do have a superpower nemesis of Wonder Woman at the end, and we have that fight where she's being thrown against this, and he's getting thrown against
I said
that.
the same thing when I came out of the film
Yeah.
to Kim, and I said, you know what? I'm getting a little tired of every movie where these characters just shoot each other with lightning and powerful,
Yeah.
beams of
I know,
energy.
I know.
And then, but at the same time, when I was critiquing that in my head, I said to myself, but they're gods. What else are they going to do?
Well, you know,
so it's kind of true.
Got to fight fire with fire.
But it does
all
get a
puns
little
intended.
old after a while when that's all they really can do.
I suppose.
But
the
you know,
bottom line is
it's
Wonder
still
Woman.
entertaining.
It's a great film. I mean, is it a great film?
It's a good film.
It's a very, very
good with capital letters.
You know, it's a very good movie. You
It's
cannot go wrong with
2 yeses, I would
It's
say.
a performance movie. We have great performances all around. I can't think of one bad performance.
I would agree.
Little subtle characters that just come out of the woodwork and just, kind of take over the screen while they're on screen. Everybody is totally commendable, and it's great production value, beautiful
Fantastically
cinematography.
made. A bit dark at times, I noticed.
I loved it. I loved it. I like our fearless Diana is really the she's an amazing human being. I mean she's an amazing God is what she is. And but it's very. I was moved by elements of this film. I truly was.
Good.
I was just moved by her.
No, it was very well done.
Her performance is moving as a woman in film who is new to film. And, she did one other film, as far as I know. She did the first Wonder Woman. I know she did Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Yeah, well, she's been other. She was in one of the
Has she been in
one of
other
the
things?
Fast and the Furious movies. That was the first
Oh,
time
that's
I
right.
saw
That was
her.
the first time she actually made a
The
movie.
the
Correct.
first one that was in Brazil. So that was 3 movies back.
Probably so.
So this was
I'll have to go back and watch that.
6,
So that's
maybe?
going to be 5.
6, I
5.
think.
Well, no, there's 6, 7, 8. So
I know.
She went back to 6?
No, I think she was in number 6.
Oh,
6,
okay.
7, 8.
3 movies
maybe,
ago.
whatever.
Well, this is number 8 that just came
It's
out.
either 5 or 6. It was the one, whatever one they went to Brazil first.
Don't believe him because he's very bad with numbers. He wrote last week's show as not the right number show.
No, that
it
was
actually show number 36, but it was
No,
actually
2
show
weeks
number
ago.
35.
2
and he put
weeks
it as
ago.
34.
No, but only in one moment because that was a copy and paste error on my part.
I'm sorry.
You do the amount of editing I do and tell me you won't make a
the
mistake.
amount of editing he does.
Yeah.
You'd have the same problem, dude.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we should
so,
edit.
we
your
love
hair
Wonder
out of
Woman.
this.
We don't love it, but well, it's my hair, man. That's what it is. It's my hair. But anyway, you wish you had hair like this.
I do.
I know you can. Show
Actually, no, it's a pain in the neck to manage. I'm sure.
I don't manage it.
It adds 10
I don't
minutes
do
to your
anything.
day every day.
I get up, I roll out of bed, and it just
Shower.
looks just like this. I know, all you ladies out there.
You don't
you're
use
so
Pantene.
jealous, aren't you?
Do you use Pantene Pro V?
No, I use L'Oreal because I'm worth it. That's right. And you know what I have to say? I have to say that. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon.
So we're gonna move on. Two
Gonna
big
move
yeses
on.
for Wonder Woman.
Two big yeses for Wonder Woman, of course.
I'm gonna review a film called Black Butterfly. Yes, hit yourself.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Black
Should
Butterfly.
we announce it?
No,
That's right.
No, don't.
It is a movie called Black Butterfly. It's about a butterfly who's black. All right, go ahead.
Thank you very much. It's an animated film. No, just kidding. Black Butterfly stars Antonio Banderas, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers,
And Soupy Sales.
yes, no, and Piper Perabo.
Piper Priabo.
You know, Perabo, the girl from Coyote Ugly.
I remember that film vividly. She
Yeah.
got up on the bar and
Yeah,
she did
she's good. She's cute.
Very cute little girl. Not a great actress. You know what else
she's
she was
okay.
in?
The
She was
Rocky
in,
and Bullwinkle.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, that horrible
Yeah.
Robert De Niro flop deluxe.
Yeah.
Oh, what a horrible film.
How much
that
money did
was.
he get paid for that one?
Oh my God! Well, how much money did he lose on that one?
He
He
didn't-
produced that.
Did
film.
he?
Yes.
What?
Robert De Niro
I thought he just
produced
acted.
that film. No,
you know,
sir.
even Pat Sajak made fun of that movie.
He made he probably got paid by the studios quite a bit as
sure.
You know, but as producer, you're laying out the cash, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, no, depends which type of producer you are.
But-
Executive producer or there's different roles. Doesn't matter. We're
Very
digressing.
true, but all movies make a profit nowadays. It's
One video on the
unless
back
it's
end,
a
you know.
$200 million film, they all
Yeah.
get it on the back end, and HBO sales and
Whatever it
video
is.
sales and pay-per-view sales. They all make
Sloopy
zillions
sales.
of dollars. Soupy sales, he mentions again.
I did.
It's my joke, but he
I
took
know. I
he's
like
now
taking your jokes.
he's now
Hey, the
taking
best
it.
comedians steal from others, don't
I
they?
guess they do. You know what I have to say to that, don't you?
What?
If I could only find the button. There you
Alright.
go.
So anyway,
Okay.
Black
So,
Butterfly.
Let's take a at Black Butterfly.
Or a first look.
A first look.
Black Butterfly stars Antonio Banderas as a writer.
Who?
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio
Banderas,
Banderas.
that's
you
what I
said that
said.
so fast I couldn't hear.
I know.
Okay.
No, Antonio Banderas plays a writer. He lives in a secluded cabin in Colorado. He is as we learn, a successful author and a troubled screenwriter who's trying to sell his newest script. He has writer's block. He's kind of drinking himself because his marriage has fallen apart. And so he's
Which
just
it did. Him and Melanie
I know
Griffith,
it did.
they did break up. So
and so he's just kind of
art imitates life.
struggling to
Yeah.
get his newest work done.
Published.
Well,
Finished.
just trying to get something finished because nobody's really buying his last screenplay, so he's trying to create something new.
I'm
And
hearing
he
about it
blocks.
now. I ain't buying it.
Yeah. So he goes out for a drive and he ends up meeting a drifter who's walking on the street, which is played by Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Uh-huh.
And so
From
a lot of movies.
mostly he was in
Was
Velvet
he in that?
Goldmine. He was in
Velvet
that film.
Goldmine. He was in, I think, Mission Impossible 3.
And he was in that Clash movie that I actually liked. It was about the Clash.
Oh,
It
yeah,
about
he
Joe
was.
He plays Joe Strummer from the Clash.
Yeah.
And he's actually quite good in that.
Wasn't he in that show, The Tutors? On
Yes,
Showtime
yeah,
or
the
Stars?
Showtime
He was
film,
in that.
the series,
Anyway,
yeah.
he's one of those like good-looking British guys, I think.
Well, you know what? Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, actually, I thought I always got him confused with Cillian Murphy back in the day.
Oh, back in the day?
But Jonathan Rhys-Meyers actually tried to kill himself.
I
He
heard
was
about
in
that.
the news. He took a whole bunch of pills. He wanted
That
to
was
end it.
recently, too.
That was within about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that,
But
yeah.
he tried to kill himself, and so now when I see him on film, I'm just so
Think of
good
that.
for you,
That's-
man.
yeah.
Good for you that you
Pulled
overcame
through,
that.
yeah. Good, yeah. I mean, it's never the way out. But
So
anyway.
every time I try, I think I'm, that I personally become suicidal.
Don't be.
I just think of, well, God, but if I don't, I'll make horrible movies like Jonathan Rhys. No, he makes good movies.
Get out of here.
Take it, Mr. Picard.
I'm trying to formulate a thought here.
I know, but I'm a showboater. I always steal the line.
You do. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Where's my big cane? Pull
I
you
don't
off
know.
screen.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna bring a cane one of these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you'd be raising Cain, I suppose.
I like that movie.
I know you did. John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, Brian De Palma.
John Lithgow was on Jimmy Fallon last night.
How was it?
Well, he's doing a show on Broadway.
He is.
now,
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always doing a show on Broadway.
Yeah, he is,
What are you
he is.
kidding me? He's always doing something.
He's
He's,
a
a very
fantastic
active human
actor.
being. He's a great actor.
Anyway.
You know what his first film was?
First film was what the hell was it? I forget. I know it wasn't Garp.
Yes, it was.
That was his first movie.
Well, he was nominated.
He was.
That was his. I believe that was his first film, and it was also somebody else. Was it Glenn Close? That might have been her first film too.
Was it? Okay, it might have been.
I think so.
You're
But
right.
John Lithgow was nominated for an actor. He was a
He was.
cross-dresser
In that film. Yeah, it's a
that
great film.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
It's a great
Yeah,
movie.
it's
It
a good
really
movie.
is. Robin
All right.
Williams is probably the weakest, but I like Robin.
He's good in that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's a good
quick.
movie.
Black Butterfly. So, it basically the film. You made me totally lose my train of where I was. Okay,
You want me to
that's
pick
right.
up for you?
No, Banderas driving.
He's a writer.
Yeah, he picks up
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Rhys-Meyers. He's a drifter. Oh, the reason he picks him up is because Banderas has a little altercation with somebody at a diner.
You should lean forward a little bit so you're more in the pic.
I don't really care.
No, you're
I
talking.
care about the other camera, not the
You're talking
Facebook
now.
camera.
Okay.
So, anyway, so he has a little altercation with a guy, a truck driver at a diner. Reese Myers kind of breaks it up and helps him out.
Oh.
So he leaves down the road. Banderas sees him, picks him up, and he goes, "I'll go anywhere. I don't care where I go." Oh, come stay at my house. He's got an empty cabin.
Uh-oh.
So he comes to his house and
Don't drop the soap.
yeah, no, it's not like that. But they developed this odd relationship.
Strange.
In terms of Reese Myers almost becomes an unwanted guest.
Yeah.
And he keeps insisting on doing chores around his falling apart cabin.
Okay.
Banderas wants to sell the cabin, but it needs a lot of work.
He just wants the guy out of there, though.
Piper Parabo plays his realtor. Not really successful realtor. He's trying to put the moves on her. Anyway, so
Piper, now it's been about what 15 years since.
yeah, but
Coyote Ugly.
she had a show on USA for a while called Covert Affairs, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Kind
How's
of
she
like
looking these days? Pretty good.
She
been a
looked
very
not
attractive
bad. Yeah,
woman.
not bad.
Yeah.
No, she's nice. So he's kind of almost intruding in Banderas' house and keeps like extending his stay. Oh well, this is going to take me 3 weeks to fix.
Right.
3 days to fix.
And
Whatever.
Antonio just was like, "Get the hell out!"
And
buddy."
he's kind of starting to get a little anxious with this guy in his home.
Okay.
And let's just say tension starts to build between the two of these guys.
It's building out between me and you. Just hearing about
What kind
this.
of tension?
I don't know.
And
Don't drop the soap.
ooh.
Ha.
And there
Anyway.
are some twists and turns in the storyline.
As there should be.
There are.
Otherwise, it would be dreary as
Oh,
hell.
it would be really dreary. And I don't really want to say which direction it goes,
Okay.
but it's fun to watch.
Oh, you liked it.
I enjoyed it. However, I feel that the film eventually goes into cop-out territory.
Dissipates.
And I was a little disappointed.
Aha.
So it's a mixed yes and no. Yes, because it's cool to see these two actors.
Yeah.
I was happy to see Banderas. It's an interesting
It's a
premise.
strange pairing. Too.
In a way, it reminds me of... There are elements of this film that reminded me of Misery. Because the way their relationship
Really?
develops, Reese Myers insists that he start writing a certain story. And almost holds him prisoner until he finishes it.
Okay.
But it doesn't go 100% where you expect it to go.
All right.
But then it goes into directions that I'm just like, you guys were doing it so well, and then,
And then all of a sudden, you're pulled back.
So-
and they kept pulling me back in.
So what I'm going to say, it's a mixed yes and no. If it's on HBO sometime down
Yeah.
the line, check it out. It's a short movie. Don't make it a top priority. But if you like Banderas, it's worth checking out because I like to see that
I
he's
like
getting
him.
work still.
You know, it's
because he's a
unfortunate.
good actor. I
It's
enjoy him.
It is unfortunate that Antonio has kind of gone into, I hate to say Steven Seagal territory, but he has gone into those low budget films
Kind
where
of.
not too many people want to work with him. His last big
But it's not his fault. It's because you're getting older, and unless you're a big name,
True.
it's hard to stay on the A list.
Well,
so now he's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
on the B list, but he's still relevant.
Yeah.
But it's tough to keep getting those, movies that are going to get out into the mainstream theaters.
Very true indeed.
That's why a lot of these guys, even Bruce Willis is now pretty much relegated to
my
video
God.
films.
Bruce Willis is.
He doesn't have the
he's
clout
gone
that he
into,
used to have.
Oh my God, he might as well be
And I think
a toll
with
taker
Bruce,
on the Garden State Parkway
A
now.
lot of it with Bruce
Yeah.
is the bad PR he's gotten, because apparently he's become very difficult to work with.
True.
And it's a shame because he's a really good actor.
I think he's terrific myself.
I've always
he
been a
always
fan.
plays the same guy, but
It's just a shame
he's
that
really
he's
good.
been so miserable and for whatever reason not happy in his
well,
his
he is
career.
happy. Just he's got some
No, but from
young
what I
woman
gather,
that
he's
he
not
just had a
happy in
baby
the
with
work.
her. Well, I guess that's true. Maybe
know,
he's just sick of doing the movies he's doing. Who knows?
He could branch out maybe.
They did 17 Die Hard films, and they all pretty much died hard.
After 2, 3 was pushing it. After that, don't bother.
I kind of like the last one though, where he had his son in the film.
That
and,
was part 4, wasn't it? No?
That was.
Oh no! The newest one, his
Die
son is growing up there in
Harder.
Russia, right? A good day to
Russia?
die. Russia. They rushed to make it filmed.
Yeah, they were
rushed
rushing.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What kind of dressing did they put on the film?
Thousand Islands.
Russian dressing.
Yeah, I know.
Which is Thousand Island.
Pretty much.
I know.
But yeah, it was in Russia, right? I didn't care
It
for
was
that
a
that
Russian
much.
sort of thing. Yes, indeed.
Anyway, Black Butterfly, a mixed yes and no.
Was it your stinker of the week?
Not really. Not 100% stinker.
Okay. All right. But of all the films we've reviewed tonight, would you say that of all the films we've reviewed possibly on this list, that it may just
It's the closest to that territory.
be the stinker
Closest.
of the week?
Well, why don't we move on to the Woody
right.
Harrelson film Wilson?
And we are going to move on to Wilson. Wilson is a new film with, it's not that new, but I believe it's a 2017.
No, it came out
film.
this year.
It
just,
did
it's out
indeed. It
now.
was in theaters.
It's on demand now.
Okay, it was on demand. It was playing over in.
But it was in the
one of
theaters
our
a month ago.
21 plex.
I almost went to see
correct?
it.
I almost went to see it also.
Yeah.
And I was able to catch it on demand.
Yes.
And this is a performance movie.
Him, Laura Dern.
You know, I really do love Woody Harrelson
too.
because he's so quirky. He's so
Yes.
bizarre. He was great in True Detective. That was the great season.
The
when
first season, fantastic.
Him and Matthew.
It was so
That
good.
was the best one.
Yeah.
Then when the
They
Colin
peaked
Farrell
and
one,
then-
oh my God, what a horrifying piece of garbage. In fact, I don't even think they're going to make it.
They're in negotiations to
Are they?
maybe do a
Yeah.
third season.
I'm kind of like Vince Vaughn in that,
I
and
did
I
too.
love what's her name,
Rachel
from The
McAdams.
Notebook.
No,
I
you
love
know, and I
Rachel.
like Colin Farrell's performance. There are things about True Detective season 2 that I liked.
Yeah, it was just badly
Moments.
written, badly directed. It just had
It
no
just felt-
energy to it.
You know, it didn't have the auteur quality of the first season because
that film noir.
Cary
quality.
Fukushima,
Yeah.
whatever his name was, the director who did the whole first season, he left.
Yeah.
And I think he was a lot of the reason that first season was so good. And it was fresh.
No, I don't think so.
As
I think
well, the writing was so
the
strong.
writing is the killer. The right. It's a serial killer movie.
Yeah.
And we did have Alexandra Daddario, whatever the heck her name is
Yeah.
from Beach Baywatch. And there's a wonderful scene there. But Woody is always terrific. White Men Can't Jump. We can go back that far. But
Rampart.
Rampart
was
Oh,
great.
he was terrific.
He was
He
great.
was terrific at Rampart. He plays a Marine delivering bad
Yeah.
news to parents and so forth.
No. You're thinking of a different
Oh, yeah,
movie.
you're
You're
right,
thinking of the
you're
movie
right.
with Kevin Bacon, aren't you? Taking Chance, the HBO film.
No,
Because
not
Rampart,
at all.
he's a nasty cop.
Oh, that's right.
L.A. cop.
No, I'm thinking of the movie where he goes around and he has to tell people that their son has just died in.
You sure it's
in
Woody?
Absolutely positive. I can see him in his suit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Woody,
right.
but it
You
might
know
have
what,
been
'cause-
an HBO movie. It might have been a Showtime film, but I don't think so. I think it
Because
was
there's a
an
lot of
independent
movies
little
that
film.
came out in like post-Iraq time where it's that premise. There's a lot of those that came
Could
out.
very well be.
And every actor got their like Iraq movie.
Wilson. Let's get to it, shall
Let's
we?
get to it.
Wilson is a movie where Woody plays. It's listed as a comedy. Woody
It's
plays
based on a graphic novel, right?
Is it?
Yeah, that's what it said.
You got
It's based
me.
on a graphic
I
novel, which
had
is
no
bizarre.
Clue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that it's a performance movie 100%. But Woody's character is so bizarre. He just says what he thinks at all
No
times.
filter.
No filter.
Reminds me of
whatsoever.
somebody.
Oh, really?
Who could it be?
I don't know, dude. Who could it be? It might be somebody, but let me put my finger in the mouth up there. There we go. I'm tickling that buddy.
That's being lost on the YouTube
I
audience,
know
by
it's
the way.
being tossed on the YouTube, but but if you want to toss your salad right there, is a message. But this is a strange film. Woody is everywhere he goes. He's loved and then he's hated, very similarly, and I can relate to that. But he's just such a weirdo, and so he makes everything so uncomfortable for everyone around him. And yet, I found certain scenes of this film to be hilarious. I did find it to be a positive experience. I'm giving it a yes. I'm giving it
Great.
a thumbs
That sounds good.
tilted towards the northern region. And by the way, I did neglect to mention that Wonder Woman really engorged my southern region, if I may say. My God, she was,
I was
what
waiting for
a
that.
woman! She was a Wonder Woman, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember
loved her. I loved
you
her.
sent me a text, a very simple text after you saw it. You just said, "What a gal."
What a Gal Gadot.
Yes.
It was the pun there. But
Yes.
get some puns at the bakery, would you please? But, I'll tell you something. Wilson is not a great movie. I loved Laura Dern. She was right out of a David Lynch movie. in
Yeah.
this. She's a white trash, she's his ex-wife, and she's just so cheap and sleazy. I loved it. She really
Now the
played
premise
it well.
is he's reconnecting with his old wife,
He's
and he
reconnecting,
finds out he's got a daughter,
finds
right?
out that they had a daughter, which she gave up at birth. He had gone away,
Yeah.
she had left him, and things happen in his life because he's such a weirdo and such
Yeah.
a whack job. So they go back, and it's all about meeting up with his daughter again and reestablishing a relationship. And he's so completely, 1,000%. He's just wrong.
Off the wall, yeah.
He's wrong. He's in every situation he does. He pushes it to the extreme. He's just incorrect. He blows everything he does. He blows it. He ruins it for everyone involved. I'm not going to go into the depths, the secretions of this movie as it goes from this highs and lows, and there are valleys and twists and turns. But Woody comes out on top, I gotta say. Woody really, and like Brad Pitt, in War Machine, and let's rewind for a moment. Brad Pitt made this movie watchable. If I can't imagine too many other people, although I don't know. I guess we can go through the casting element in our brain, but I liked Woody specifically in Wilson. I thought he was very good. It's a very short little film. It's only an hour and a half, but it's kind of a kick. I mean, it's memorable for Woody. It's memorable for the writing of his character. I have a very strong feeling there was a lot of interpretive improv in this movie that Woody was prone to, and I'm proud of him for doing that, because if anybody could pull that off, it's him. And the man smokes a lot of weed too.
He does.
I don't think he's on the level of Snoop Dogg or Willie Nelson, but he's way up.
He's good
there.
friends with Willie Nelson.
I know he is. He's got he lives in Hawaii.
He's friends with Bill Maher.
He's
They're
got
all
that
good buddies.
Maui Wowie going on,
He does.
and he's got big parties. People go to Woody's house and hang out for
Every
days.
time Bill Maher goes out there for the New
know.
Year's Eve show, he does. He hangs out with Woody.
Exactly. The women just go away and they just sit there and smoke weed and play cards, and so that's what they do.
That must be a hell of a good time.
Must be a kick
to hang out with those
I'd
guys.
love to do it. I bet it's just wonderful.
You should show up one day.
Let us now move on. Our next film, I'm going to give Wilson a definite yes.
Cool.
I enjoyed it. It's a great movie by no means, but Woody escalates it to really a good level there. So it's certainly watching. Thanks for that thumbs up, whoever you were out there.
Nice.
I don't know who you were, but
whoever
you were, Michael Caine would say thank you for that.
I'm going to start my next review, and I'm going to just start off right off the bat. I'm going to say I'm giving a yes to the documentary I Am Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we know that Heath Ledger unfortunately passed a few years back in 2008.
He did?
I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh. You're the one who told me.
No, you broke it to me. You called me.
No, you are wrong.
Did-
You are wrong.
Are you sure?
I was driving with my wife at that time.
Oh.
And you texted me, and this is what you wrote.
Oh.
Because
I thought you called me.
I have a memory, my friend.
Well, so do I,
You wrote to me, are you sitting down?
Oh.
Those were your very words.
Really?
Are you sitting down?
Thank you for telling me that.
And I said, as a matter of fact, I'm in the car. I am sitting down.
Yeah.
Unless I had the
Yeah.
moonroof open,
Yeah.
where I might have been standing up and, peeing on some unsuspecting tourist. But I was not. So so you said to me, are you sitting down? And I went, yeah, what? And then and I remember it was like a cold day. When did he die?
It was January.
It was January.
January
It was a cold
2008.
day. And then you said, Heath Ledger, dead at the age of
27?
27, I believe.
Yeah.
The 27 syndrome, Janis Joplin, Jim
Sucks.
Morrison, Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix, Kurt Cobain. It's the 27 world of dead people, famous dying, and it was a biggie.
That was
you
huge.
told me.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of
You're
that.
very welcome. I would have happily taken credit, too.
I know. Well,
I would have liked
you should have taken it.
but the truth is the truth, and
Yeah,
you
thank
did
you.
tell me.
Well, usually you scoop me, so
I
that was a
usually
rare
do.
scoop.
I know.
Usually you're Mr. Variety over
I
there.
am Mr. Death on Wheels. People say to me, what are you, the Grim Reaper now?
I know,
You got to tell me it's 2 o'clock in
What
the
is
morning.
it about the joy of reporting a celebrity death to your friends? It's very morbid. We're very messed up people for doing that, but
Well,
everybody does it. Stern had the whole pool that they used to do on the show.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
I don't
what
get
it
that
is.
kind of joy.
I'm not sure why that is. Why is that? It's a very good question. But we have that need, that urgency to be the first person. I think specifically with my own friends.
Yeah, I know.
I want to tell them. You want, and of course, you and I
Yeah.
now have the scoop thing.
We do.
Who's going to
do first?
Who's going to get first?
Yeah, I know.
You're the first person I go
I
to.
know, I
You
know.
As soon as I
It's
see
true.
somebody famous has died.
Dead. Sometimes it's somebody so obscure you have to explain to me who it was.
Yeah.
Because you know I'm not going to know who it was. You know?
Well, sometimes I don't even bother.
Well,
and
that's
then
true.
You'll text me back 2 days later. Hey, you didn't mention that.
That's right, that's
Phyllis
right.
Diller died, or not Phyllis
Yeah.
Diller, but somebody famous died.
Zachary
and you
the
won't
Cool
mention
Ghoul
it.
or something.
And, exactly, and then I'll say to you, well, I didn't think you
You know
really
who he was.
appreciate
Yeah,
the guy.
it's true.
I remember when Erin Moran died from Happy Days.
Happy Days, yeah.
I didn't text a lot of people that
Yeah.
because she's from the 70s, and
Yeah.
I didn't think a lot of people were gonna know. And then people text me back later. Oh, did you know Erin Moran died?
Of course he
Of course
knows.
I knew.
He's glued to
Of course.
TMZ.
Well, I'm not glued, but I have them on my
Alerts or whatever?
I get a little alert from
Yeah.
them. Yeah, and I also Variety. I'm
Yeah.
on their email list, so as soon as somebody dies, I get a little beep, telling me.
You know, it's a weird thing that this is something that I've had for a long time is that for some reason, I think it's like a subconscious, like I'm uncomfortable. I automatically smile most of the time when I'm reporting bad news.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's weird. People think I'm sick. I'm like, no, I don't know how to handle it. So my body just makes a smile because I think that's the polar opposite of what I'm feeling inside. And so you kind of like, do that weird, like, okay, forcing a smile.
Just want to do a quick shout out to Mr. Sean Roberts there, who thought Wilson was awesome. Man, it
Sean,
really
thanks.
was. Thanks.
You know who
dude.
Sean is?
I don't know who that
He's
is.
a filmmaker.
Is he?
He directed the 2 films I did in Pennsylvania. He did Traffickers and he did The Wicked
Hey,
Ones.
there you go, Sean Roberts.
Talented
Pretty
young
cool.
man
Very
who's also
talented
getting
man.
married soon. Congrats.
Congrats for that.
Um,
and, we give you our condolences.
We do. So anyway, why don't we jump back to the review because we're
Okay, I'm
digressing.
terribly
but
sorry.
A fun digression.
He thought Heath Ledger was.
So you know what I got from
Is it
this
a documentary?
It's a documentary. Yeah.
Films of his behind the scenes mostly.
Yes, here's what this film is about. Apparently, this is part of a series of documentaries, but they're all feature length called "I Am" and then insert name.
All right.
So
Who were
this
some of the others?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I gotta look it up.
That's funny.
Yeah, because
It's a whole series. Who?
I don't know. I'll look him up later.
Okay.
So what it does is
You better smoke some of this, dude.
some weaver.
there you go.
Anyway, so this film combines a lot of home movies and little shorts
Cool.
that he was filming
That's what you want to see.
with interviews with people that knew him best.
Did it have
clips
the
from his-
Olsen twins in there?
It doesn't have them at all.
Doesn't
actually,
have
no,
them.
they're not
Oh, wow.
mentioned. It
They're
intertwines
not one
that.
person. I heard.
I heard
They've
that.
metamorphosized
I know.
into
What's his
one
name? John Oliver made a joke
human
about
being.
that.
I know he did.
So it mixes home movies that he made, films that he made, with interviews of people that knew him best, friends, family, co-workers,
You liked it.
and clips from his films.
Okay.
And it chronicles his film career.
Just what I expected it to
yeah.
be.
And it's
No surprise.
actually, it's amazing. You think he made quite an impact with actually very small filmography.
Well, he was dynamite.
He was great.
He was
Yeah.
dynamite. The guy was amazing.
One thing I didn't know about him was that he was really big into being creative with he's always had a camera, whether it's a still camera or a video camera.
Oh, really?
He was always creating
Filming
something to
stuff?
the point that
Interesting.
people, that's how they remember him.
Okay.
Always creating,
Oh, wow.
always when he's in between movies or he's staying at a hotel and downtime, he's filming little quick shorts of him first person in the hotel lobby.
Here he is
all that
taking
kind of stuff.
handfuls of pills. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm filming
Anyway.
myself taking handfuls.
But he was apparently a guy who was so full of life.
Yeah.
He had such an impact on everybody
Until
he
he
met.
died.
I know. Here's a cool thing he did. Once he had some money and he bought a house in L.A., he had an open door policy with any actors who were coming over from Australia.
Oh, wow.
Stay at my house. So
Okay.
you have a place to stay.
Yeah.
He knew they were down on their luck. They didn't have any money. And, you're not making a lot of money at that
You can
point.
afford the plane ticket, though. You got to have some money.
Anybody can stay for as long as they want. And
Nice.
they chronicled interviews with a lot
I
of different
could've been Australian, mate.
prominent actors who knew him, who
Could have
stayed
showed up at his house, yeah. and-
Naomi Watts stayed at his house.
Ah.
Ben Mendelsohn, who stayed at his house, the guy you hated in Rogue One, the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Edgerton stayed at his house.
Okay.
Many, many names. They just all really loved the guy.
Okay.
And he left such a void when he passed.
Absolutely.
They talked about how much of a father he was to young Matilda, I think her name was,
Yeah.
that he had with Michelle Williams.
Correct.
And so seeing the inside of who this guy was, to me, was fascinating. It's a shame,
Yeah.
like all great actors and performers who die early.
I don't even
what
want to
would
see
have
it.
become.
I know.
You know.
I don't even want to see the film in essence. And forgive me for cutting you
No,
off.
it's okay.
I
I
know
felt-
I circumcise your thoughts often, but
It's okay.
Let me say this: I don't even want to see this movie. I loved Heath.
Yeah.
It's almost too soon in a way. I think of him so fondly, and it's like I just don't want to. I don't want to see all those great things because it's only a sad. The whole essence of the whole. Okay, here's such a brilliant actor. You know, Brokeback and Candy he did back in 2005 with Cornish.
Abby Cornish, yeah.
Abby Cornish.
Yeah, it's funny. They didn't touch on that film.
No, you know they should have because that's a
should've.
great movie.
Yeah.
He plays a drug addict in that.
I know.
That almost could have
You know
been
what?
his
Maybe
epitaph.
maybe they didn't put it in because of the association.
because of that.
So that's the thing is that people have this assumption that he couldn't get out of the character of the Joker, so he took all these pills because he couldn't sleep.
Baloney.
It's all PR nonsense.
Absolutely true.
He
Listen, he was so spectacular.
He was in the middle of filming the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus with
Oh.
Terry Gilliam in London.
Yeah.
He was on a break. The film was on a break.
Not a great film.
But he was home in New York.
Right.
He had caught a bad flu and then eventually pneumonia when he was filming because everybody got sick. It was January in London.
Okay.
Everybody in the crew got sick.
Gotcha.
And he was having trouble sleeping. And he was taking the pills. And yes, he took too many. But by no means was it deliberate.
You know, how do you know that though?
Because the people that knew him best were saying that just wasn't who he was.
Okay.
His agent was like his best friend almost. He's like, I talked to him 20 times a day.
Okay.
This is not a man who was looking to die. He
Yeah,
had
what a
so
shame.
many things he wanted to do. He felt innately that he was going to die young, just like James Dean, like all the greats.
And he
He's
did.
kept saying to his close friends, I feel like I don't have enough time. I have so much I got to do. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. But they didn't see a man who was looking to die.
Okay.
It was a tragic mistake, allegedly. I'm willing to take their word for it.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a very insightful documentary that I enjoyed. It was a hair long at times, even though it was still a short film.
Just like this review.
Shut up. You wrangle on for
Yeah,
hours.
but we know what this movie is, though.
It is.
It
No,
is
but I'm
just basically a
expressing my
documentary
thoughts.
on the life and death of Heath Ledger.
I'm expressing
I
my
understand,
thoughts.
and I realize that
And-
he meant a lot to me, and he meant a lot to
Yeah,
you.
I thought it was great.
He
You know,
really was
and
great.
I feel that at times I felt it was a little too sentimental, but that's just people talking
That's called
about
life
somebody
and
that they
death.
love.
When you watch somebody
Um,
who is about to
I
die.
recommend it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't want to
Then
see it. I
don't.
may watch it eventually, but right now, I know it's a sad film.
I know.
I watch movies about, I just read a book, Freddie Mercury. It's called The Life and Legacy
Whoa,
of Freddie.
of poop.
This was a fascinating book, though. And I'm going to mention this very briefly.
Real quick.
I actually wanted to bring the book out and show everybody. But this is a movie. It's a book about AIDS, more so than
Oh.
even Freddie Mercury. It gives the whole biography of AIDS in this thing.
Yeah.
And how Freddie caught it and how Freddie died. It was the most unique Queen biography I've ever
Interesting.
read. It's the life and death and legacy of Freddie Mercury. It was
Okay.
wonderful. It was wonderful. I truly enjoyed it. Let us move on. You loved Heath Ledger, of course. It's a big thumbs up. You can't say no
I didn't
to
love
a-
it. I liked it.
Okay, but you can't say no to a movie like this.
No, you
because
can't.
You're
It's a
saying
yes.
no to Heath
I know,
Ledger
you can't.
himself. If
Exactly.
you don't love Heath as an
Exactly.
actor, then you would say no to this.
Yeah.
But as a simple chronicle of his life, it was
It was
great.
interesting. I
Okay,
really
cool.
enjoyed it.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't know enough. I really didn't know much about him personally, so I like that element.
Okay, now I'm going to hang up on you.
And
I'm
go
gonna
to Don't
move
Hang
to
Up.
Don't
Don't Hang
Hang
Up.
Up. That's right. This is a new little horror film. I love this movie. This was such a unique horror film. This was a horror movie that it's called Don't Hang Up. And it's about two kids who are doing pranks all the time on people. They'll call up a woman at
Yeah.
the very beginning of the film. They call up this woman and they say, "Oh, this is the police. There's a prowler down in your living room right now, and please barricade yourself up in a room." Ha 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 ha. They're laughing and they're doing these horrible pranks to people
Yeah.
in school. These are just two kids. And I'll tell you something, this turns into a really good horror movie. It just went, and as any good horror film does, it has to escalate. It has to take us up a ladder and just keep climbing until we hit the climax. And so often in horror movies, what do? They cop out. It's a dream.
They always
it's a
do.
bullshit. It's nonsense. Something happens, and then we have that little sequel thing going
know.
on. They pinch us
It's the
with-
formula, paint by numbers.
Stick it to us. You bend over and bammo. The next thing you know, you're screaming for your
But you
life.
horror addicts keep coming back for more.
Well, I love
like
horror.
a hamster on a wheel.
Well, you know why you do? Because you're searching for that thrill.
I know
It's
you
that
are.
first shot of heroin. Is
They
what
can't
it
all-
is.
they can't all be
And
the
I've never
Babadook.
tried heroin, but exactly. But you're searching for that exorcist. You're searching
you
for the
are.
Halloween.
I
You're
know.
searching for that movie that's just going to take you into that zone
Yeah.
of greatness. And I'm not saying this is a great movie, but the ending is the payoff is big time.
Okay, good.
And that's the killer for me.
Great.
And the kid in this movie, I saw him just recently on Lip Sync Battle.
Oh.
I can't think of his name, but he was on the show with Victoria Justice. Victoria Justice is a very great little actress. She's in a movie right now called The Outcasts, which I was going to review last week and I didn't. I was waiting for this guy to watch the film, but he still hasn't watched the damn thing. But it's a very, very funny movie. Very similar almost to Edge of 17. But,
Yes.
But,
Which one of these kids is it?
It is this guy right there.
Oh, okay. Garrett Clayton.
Yeah, he's a Disney guy.
Oh, okay.
I believe he's one of those.
I think you're right.
One of the newer Mouseketeer.
And he was in the Hairspray Live recently.
Okay,
apparently.
okay.
Yeah,
But
okay.
he's terrific. This movie really got me. You think that they're putting on pranks during the film, and you think the whole thing you're all going to be pranked at the end as an audience member. No, it comes through and it's a great revenge flick.
That's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that.
Loved it. Don't Hang Up is the name of the film.
Cool.
And now let us move on to.
I'm going to be real quick on this because we're running low on time.
We
But,
are running low.
All right, so there's a new film added
Actually,
to.
we're only at an hour right now.
Well, that's true. We did start
We
late.
started 10
That's
minutes
true.
late.
Anyway, so
Maybe 15.
maybe. There's a new film that has been added to Netflix called Christine.
Been there for quite some time.
No, it was recently added.
No, sir.
Under the tab, recently added. That's when I watched it.
It's been on Netflix maybe for about 2 months now.
Well, that's recent. 2 months. That's still recent. 2 months is more recent than 6 months. No?
Go on.
Shut up. Must you? Oh, you know you.
I'm just saying 2 months is a recent.
Yeah, but
when they
you
recently add, that means it was
well,
just came
you
out
also
a week
did
ago.
a movie from 2015 before, so shut up.
Which one?
You even said it's from 2015.
Oh, Below Her Mouth.
Whatever you did.
What a movie.
So hey,
You need to see Below Her Mouth, ladies
and guess
gentlemen.
what? Then
Oh, my
that backs
God.
up every time I bring up an older film. That backs that up because if it's worth seeing,
Not you, Max.
there's 2 cameras.
Not you, Max. You shouldn't be seeing Below Her Mouth.
All right.
I had some wonderful movies.
Stop talking to
Love
7-year-olds.
We'll
Let me do my.
recap. We'll recap in the
Let me do my thing. All right, so Christine is a film, like I said, added to Facebook. It's based on a true story that I knew nothing about.
Okay.
It stars the wonderful Rebecca Hall,
Rebecca Hall.
and she is the star of this film. It's her movie all the way.
I want a hall pass
You
for
do, shit.
Rebecca.
It is a performance film, 100%.
Yeah.
It's her the whole time.
She's a lovely lady.
She does a real performance, a character. Not that she doesn't always, but this really, her acting really stands out in this film.
she's a
She's
spectacular
fantastic.
actress. She really
so
is.
Rebecca Hall, you might know her from The Town, with Ben Affleck. If you don't know, she was in Vicky Cristina Barcelona, the wonderful
Great
Woody
movie
Allen
called
film.
Tumble Down with
Tumble Down, you mentioned before.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. She's
I
a great
love
little
that
actress.
film. She really is.
Also in this film is
A lot of little independent films. She also did a great little horror movie, also on Netflix.
yes.
It's called the Arrival. It begins with an A.
Doesn't matter. We'll look it up later.
Yeah.
She also
Wait a minute. What was the movie with Robert De Niro? And Awakening. I believe it's called Awakening.
no
Yeah.
with De Niro.
Yes, De Niro and Robin.
Awakenings. She's not in that.
No, the name of the film she did is Awakening.
Oh,
the film that De Niro
It's
and Robin
Awakenings.
Williams
Awakenings.
did is Awakenings.
Yes.
But this is called Awakening.
Oh, it is.
And
Okay,
on
I see what
Netflix.
you're saying.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, so also in this film is Dexter himself, Michael C. Hall.
Yeah.
The film chronicles a Sarasota, Florida journalist, reporter in the 70s who is trying to be a relevant journalist, who's trying to do some hard-hitting stories, but she's getting a lot of pressure from the station to do a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
A lot of, fluff pieces, the Strawberry Festival, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But she's also getting pressure to start doing, our ratings need to go up, so we need you to go do, cover that house fire, cover that shooting, violent stuff, violent cells, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
The station manager is a really good actor.
Nightcrawler.
Kind of.
Okay.
The station manager is an actor named Tracy Letts, who's also a playwright who wrote the play for August Osage County.
In real life?
Yes, he's a
okay.
playwright. He also wrote this play, that movie with Matthew McConaughey. What was his name? Killer Joe. Remember that one?
Yeah.
The Frankenheimer film.
Yeah. I like that film.
Anyway, he's also in the film right now with Deborah Winger in the
it's
theater
not a
called
Frankenheimer
Lovers.
film. Killer Joe. It's not a Frankenheimer film.
Not what is it? John Frankenheimer. Didn't he do The Exorcist?
No.
What's his name?
William Friedkin.
William Friedkin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I always get the two confused. William Friedkin.
And John Frankenheimer?
Because the names are similar. It's the names that are similar. Anyway. Can I talk?
No, that's a fart because of your major fart. Your
Please.
brain fart.
You make more mistakes than I do every
Your
day.
brain fart.
Anyway, that was
John
a brain fart.
Frankenheimer is not William Friedkin. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
Shoot him.
That's the premise. So she's trying to not do these kinds. She's resisting doing stories that she feels are not along with what she wants to do.
Did you like the film?
I enjoyed it because it was interesting. It was a performance film, like I said. I
She's
liked
great?
it. No, she's great. I really like this film.
Okay.
I like movies about journalists. I'm always kind of partial to those kind of movies. I don't know why. I just am.
We don't know why.
I love All the President's Men.
Spotlight, movies like that.
I like Spotlight. I just
Horrible
like
film.
journalist
One of the worst
films.
films I've ever seen in my
Oh,
life.
that's ridiculous.
Oh, I despise that film. I
Anyway,
saw it with you, too.
I know, we saw it in the theater together.
It was god-awful.
And then this film takes a very dark turn. Don't give any spoilers away.
Not going
what
to tell
happens.
anybody anything.
Yeah. But anyway, I recommend Christine because it's a performance film. It's an interesting look into a historical event. This film has historical significance because I did say it was based on a true story. Significance.
Yeah.
But she really does play a really good character here. She's a very kind of a depressing kind of a person. She's dealing with depression.
Yeah.
She's very socially awkward at times.
I started to watch the
I
film.
know you said
I
you
had
turned
to
it
stop.
off.
I couldn't get through it. It just was too... They had that
But-
newsroom kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. So if you don't like
stay
stale 70s newsroom film, it's not for you. I give it a yes for the performances.
Okay.
It's not a film that everybody's going to want to watch.
Nobody's gonna watch.
But nevertheless, I liked it.
And now,
Second look.
I'm going to be very, very
Our
brief.
final
here.
film of the night.
Final film of the night is second. I'm going to do a second look with a movie called Second Look. No, that's not true. No, actually, the film is called La La Land.
A film we both loved.
Film we both loved. I saw this film in the
Fantastic.
theater. I absolutely loved it. I was
Yeah.
emotional. It got me. It hit me hard.
Yeah.
It was. But I'll tell you something. Watching it in my home here, I was equally as. The magic wasn't quite there for me the second time.
Okay.
I have to say that when you analyze each moment of this film and you see the formula,
Yeah.
you're not so privy to the formula of the film when you're watching it because
first
you're
time.
so manipulated by the brilliance of this one. And it's a brilliant piece of work. There's
Yeah.
no question about it.
No, it is.
It's not only
Undisputable.
undisputably brilliant. It absolutely is. But somehow by watching it the second time on my screen here on 4K Blu-ray, I was more conscious of the manipulative aspects of the film that did make me feel. But all films are that. All films, when we see a movie the second or third time, we notice things more. Obviously,
Of course.
we're more privy to the microscopic analyzation.
Some films you can watch 20 times and still get something new every time you see
Exactly.
it.
It's like watching Donald Trump day after day after day. Nothing ever changes. We just don't ever see an improvement. We're just seeing the same miserable horseshit day after day after day after day after day. Stop me, please. Day after day.
Oh, you can
please
stop
stop
now.
me. Stop. No, yeah, stop me. Please. Okay. Anyway. But I still love the film. It's still wonderful to look at. I was humming the music. It's still the ending is very, very powerful.
Did it look beautiful on your TV?
It looked magnificent on my TV in 4K on one of my brand new 4K players, which I'd like to thank Panasonic for their incredible HD 900.
You're keeping the Blu-ray industry afloat with
I'm
your
doing
purchases.
my best to keep the economy afloat, ladies and gentlemen, by spending as much money as I possibly can. And I love the film. I didn't love it as much the second time.
Okay.
But I must comment on I just want to mention that the Blu-ray disc itself was magnificent. It was crystal clear. It was crisp. It was clean. I could see the hair strands on little.
Can you see the makeup on their faces?
I can, Well, that's one of the things about when you have a high
When
def.
it's so
When you have
clear.
high def these days, and you're watching even the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And you see the caked on Jennifer Lopez,
Sucks.
pancake that she's putting on. It is amazing.
Kind of takes a little bit out of it. It takes you a little bit out of the film.
It does indeed.
When you watch a movie, I remember when I was researching televisions years ago before I bought a new TV, they had Pirates on in the Best Buy on the TV.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Pirates.
Well, it could have been.
We all
Pirates.
know it's a Pirates
Could have
film.
been,
at this point.
I'm
I'm not talking about the
Walter
Walter Matthau film, Pirates,
okay.
or whatever.
God, that was painful. Right in my ear.
Now you know how I feel when you put the megaphone on.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, buddy. Yeah, okay.
Second look, second look.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, I was just saying that they had it on, and I guess whatever setting the TV was on, they didn't have the right setting for watching a film.
Okay.
And the movie looked like it was shot on video. It was so crisp.
Wow.
Took me out of it. Didn't even look like a movie.
Okay.
So there's sometimes there's a
No, I
downside
like
to
it.
clarity.
Well, this film was not shot on video. This film was
No,
shot
I know it wasn't,
on,
but I'm saying it
a
can
digital
look
film
like
lock.
it.
No, not at all. It looked great.
It's
It
the
just
motion
looked wonderful.
setting you have. There's a setting for motion when you set up your TV that if it's set on for like sports or whatever, it kind of can change how a movie will look, and it'll make
No, I
it look
understand that.
less like a film and more like video. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, I got you. I mean, the first time I watched Clockwork Orange on my television,
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange was a 1971 film. And I saw it on video. I got the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It was so amazingly realistic looking. It had that soap opera feel where things are. It is right now, right here. It's an incredible. You're absolutely right. There is a difference in seeing a film in a theater. I remember seeing just recently, however, when I watched the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with how vivid the experience of watching. Things are so vivid now. They've really mastered the digital technique of film, and just the vivid look is amazing. Listen, we're going to get to our recap. We're almost at the end
Yeah,
here.
let's recap what we did
We're
tonight.
going to do it all here for you. Okay, War Machine. I'm going to give it a... but inevitably, it's a not watch.
So it's a yes for Brad Pitt, but an overall no.
It's on Netflix right now. It's being touted as the next big thing. It's not the next big thing. It's boring as
And
hell.
I've been hearing that in a lot of
It's
sources.
really
yeah.
boring as hell.
Shame.
Yeah, Brad gives it his all though, as usual. The man's never given a bad performance.
He has not.
Ever.
I agree.
Ever.
He's fantastic.
I mean, you name it.
I've always been a fan.
Read before burning or burn before
For
reading.
reading, he's great. You know what I
he's
love about
terrific.
Brad too is that he's one of these actors. There's a few of them that are obviously attractive men who don't care about making himself look like garbage in a movie.
Yeah.
He always looks like getting his ass kicked. He's a mess and this and that. So I appreciate people that
Well,
can
Fight Club
take the
was
vanity away and play a role. Christian Bale, the guy's emaciated in The Machinist.
I know.
If you haven't seen The Machinist, check that movie out.
I don't care for that film.
It's not
all
a great
that
film, but it's a performance
much.
that you
It
will
did
never
nothing
forget.
for me.
Oh,
Did
horrifying
nothing for me.
performance.
It was a horrifying story. You
Yeah.
know, it's a he
Man who has horrible insomnia.
has
you know?
horrible insomnia because of an event that he
Yeah,
personally did to a young person
Yes.
in an automobile. And but you know, I can't recommend The Machinist at all. And he lived on coffee and cigarettes for I think
No, coffee and an apple.
coffee and an
He's not a
apple
smoker.
every day.
Every
That
day.
is correct.
And I think a can of tuna.
All right, so here's our list, ladies and gentlemen. You think we're, you know, some people think that we're, you know, really just reading this entire film, this entire show, but we're not.
Why would we do that?
But anyway, exactly. Why would
All we have written down are the movies.
We just got the films here. But anyway, we got War Machine. I'm going to give it a no.
Okay.
2
yeses
Two
for
yeses
David Lynch.
for the art life of
The Art
David
Life of
Lynch.
David
Yeah,
Lynch.
if you're a David Lynch fan, you're going to love it. If you're not a David Lynch fan, I still think you might enjoy
Yeah.
it.
And
Just
to
to
be-
see the mental process. I'm going to mention something very quickly in here. For me, the best thing about this, when David Lynch is telling a very brief story, and I
Yeah.
should actually be telling you this instead of our people because we're running late, but I'm going to tell it anyway. There's a great little story he's telling. He's building his little studio in his home in Philadelphia.
I know what you're gonna say,
Of how
yeah.
depressing Philadelphia is. He's living in fear and the horror of Philadelphia and how weird people are there. And it was only until he came to California
Yeah.
where he saw the sunshine for the first
Yes,
time and
yes.
he changed his whole attitude.
Yeah.
But Racerhead never would have been made in California, really, although it was, but it took that mindset of Philadelphia to make that.
Yeah, it did. It did.
He invites his father. His father is actually coming to the East Coast for a trip. He has to go to Washington,
That's right,
D.C.
that's
So
right.
he's going to take a quick ride up to Philly to see his son David,
yes.
who is living by himself. He's now got a girlfriend who is pregnant.
Yes.
He doesn't even tell his father that. But he brings his father down into the basement.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
He brings his father down into the basement where he has like dead animals.
Scientific experiments.
Scientific experiments. Basically, he's got rotted fruit,
Petri
he's got-
dishes.
But these are things that he's doing not for the sake of his weirdness, but for the element of visual art.
Yes.
For the element of putting these things on a canvas or on a screen or in a movie or
Yeah.
whatever. He's just playing with things. The textures of insects he talks about in this film for maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's such a bizarre human being, and some of his animated films are just outrageous. On the short films of David Lynch, available through the davidlynch.com website,
Mm-hmm.
some amazing stuff. He brings his father down into this room, though,
Shows
where
him.
he shows
He's
him
proud of this stuff.
He's proud of this. He's thinking, oh my God, you know, my dad has always kind of thought, oh, he's a bit of a loser. What is he going to amount to? But his father always gave him
Yeah.
that halfway mark.
He did.
You know, I'll pay for half your apartment if you pay for the other half.
Exactly.
Which I love that about his
Yeah.
dad. I wish my dad.
He
had
helped
been
him
like
pay for that
He
art
really
studio
helped him. He just
early
had
on.
he
Yeah.
just had faith in his children
Yes.
to want to help them do whatever it was they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So David brings dad down into the basement, shows him all his weird stuff, and he's so proud of this. And he's walking up the steps and he's smiling to himself and he's going, geez, I just impressed my dad.
Yeah.
I showed him all my weird shit, but you know, he's gonna realize that I'm an artist and I'm
Yeah.
brilliant, I'm a genius, and I'm, you know, he's gonna realize that all his hope and in the in vain thought that he had of that I'm a loser or whatever is now being, you know, resuscitated,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
rectified by me presenting my world to him. And he turns around, so beaming with joy, turns around, looks at his dad, and his dad has this look on his face like,
Horrified.
oh my God, what have I just
Yeah.
seen? And he says to his son, he says, David, don't ever have children.
Yeah, he does say that.
And of course, the best part of it was that his girlfriend was at the time pregnant.
Pregnant in the other room, hiding.
There we go.
And there's another moment where he starts telling a story and he says, you know what? I can't tell this story. And he
Oh,
just
that was so odd.
I wanted to know what that story
Well,
was.
it was what about he was a kid, and he was telling a story about he goes somewhere and
It was
and
about when
a
they were ready
fight.
to move.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were good. They were about to move from Idaho or something.
Oh, was
and it
it?
was something involving the neighbor.
Yeah, it was some
and he said
kid.
he couldn't
and
tell
all
the
of a sudden
story.
he just said, "Oh,
the neighbor's father."
I
And
guess
couldn't
he
tell
must
the
have
story.
thought that he probably would have embarrassed somebody.
Maybe,
I have
yeah.
a feeling that's what it was.
Fascinating,
That
though.
he didn't want to say. He didn't want to mention the name because he was naming people by
He was,
name
he was,
constantly.
yeah.
My friend Billy here, my friend Tommy.
It's true.
He was always mentioning
Yeah.
people, so I had a feeling that there was an embarrassing thing for a friend. That's why he didn't want to. I don't think it was a bad story. I think somebody may have looked bad.
Well, no, he seemed very pained when he was speaking. I felt like it
Well,
was
yeah,
too
because-
emotional for him, though.
Could be.
I got the impression it was an emotional story.
Could be.
And I don't know if he wanted to be that raw.
Yeah,
That's
could
what
be.
I was. That's what I took from it.
It was probably a lot of things, but you're probably
Anyway, it was
more
very
right than
interesting.
I am.
It was very real.
Very true.
All right, moving on. Number 3.
Number 3, Below Her Mouth. Wonderful love story. One of the most passionate love stories I've ever seen in my life. I cannot tout this film enough. It is graphic. It is sexual in content. And as my little fault machine will tell you there. No brain fault there, though, folks. A great movie. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It moved me. It moved me continually. The acting is so superb. Once again, you almost feel like you're not watching a movie. Next film, Wonder Woman.
2 yeses.
We liked it. I
We've
I
said a lot
didn't
about
love it
this
as much
film.
as all the critics
No,
who
I
were
know,
just
but I liked
raving about it as that, Jesus has just come down to earth in Wonder Woman form.
It's a very satisfying movie.
It is very
satisfying.
much so. Yeah, you
and
will
that's
leave,
the best thing to say about
absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's really a glorious study of the life of Wonder Woman
I agree.
from
Yeah.
childhood to not quite present day. We don't get into her. I don't think was Batman in this movie. Doesn't he make a quick cameo?
it. He
at one
doesn't
point?
know, but there's a reference to Bruce Wayne in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Because the film is bookended with present day stuff.
Oh, all right.
With Bruce
there
Wayne.
you go. Oh, by the way, Gotham finale last night blew my socks off. Incredible, unbelievable. Loved it. 2-hour finale. Fantastic show. Okay. Back to Black Butterfly.
Black Butterfly.
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, Antonio.
It's a mixed yes, no.
Overall,
Kind of a no overall, but if you
Okay.
like Antonio Banderas and you want to see something unique, I'd say a yes.
gotcha.
But don't run out to see it.
Wilson, I'm going to give a big yes to. I
Cool.
liked Wilson with Woody Harrelson. It's just a great little character study and so bizarre, off the cuff. It
Yeah.
will make you laugh. It will make you smile many, many times, and then it will make you grimace in pain
Mm-hmm.
at the uncomfortableness of the character. So it runs the gamut. But overall, it's a big yes for me.
Great.
We
I'm
then
gonna
move
do
on to Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. I am Heath Ledger.
like it?
Yes. It's an insightful look into a great artist.
Life of a tragic,
unfortunately,
death of
another
a great
artist
actor.
we've lost too young.
Great actor,
But
bites the dust.
nevertheless, interesting. Yes. And then lastly,
Gotcha. Don't hang up. Not lastly. Second to lastly.
oh, I'm sorry. You're right. My fault.
Is Don't Hang Up, horror film for you horror buffs. I love this movie. It is truly one of the better horror films I've seen in a long time. Babadook being my favorite horror
The big
film of
one
the last
of
2
the past
years.
few
Oh my
years,
God,
yeah.
I love
Babadook is great.
It is.
And then 9, I'm going to give a yes to Christine on Netflix with Rebecca Hall.
Okay.
It's an in-depth look at a real person who was a journalist in the 70s in Florida. A sad movie in many ways,
Gotcha.
but an interesting character study and a great performance. It's a performance film more than anything. So for that's why I give it a yes.
And for my I did say I did mention that La La Land didn't impress me quite as much the second time. But if you have not seen La La Land, you really got to get out there. Once you get past the first half hour of all the silly, frilly, the West Side Story
Kind of
stupid
stuff, yeah.
songs that kind of are just filler, you get into the pure magic of that film. And I was swept into the magic. Most definitely, not quite as much as the first time because now I'm a veteran of the film and the magic has already occurred. So it's hard to get back to that that same magnificent feeling of woe and just that treasured passion that kind of. And it just universally goes through the brains of we humans and what could have been in our lives. And that's the true brilliance of La La Land. And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
We will see you next week
As Brad Pitt would say.
with, I guess, the review of The Mummy, Tom
I'll
Cruise.
be there. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll probably force myself to go see it too.
You don't probably need to.
Well, no, I'd like to because there's nothing else really opening that I'm going to probably
Well,
see.
the Kate Mara,
Kate Mara, Macon, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I'm really not interested.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
I'm sorry, I'm just tired of Iraq films. Enough.
Beauty and the Beast came out today on video. I love Beauty and the Beast.
That's probably my cousin Rachel looks pretty good.
Oh yeah,
I
with
probably
Rachel
won't go
Weisz.
see that.
That's
though.
a period piece, though.
It is.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I
Oh, The
wanna see
Hero
that
looked
either.
interesting with Sam Elliott, but that won't be in theaters. Megan Levy, that's what that's called.
Yeah.
Hunter's Prayer, you already saw on demand.
see
That
that.
opens in theaters somewhere.
Correct.
Oh yeah, it comes at night. It's supposed to be a creepy movie with Joel Edgerton. Maybe I'll go see that. That's a horror mystery. That's up your alley.
Okay.
Anyway, we will see you next week.
Take care,
same
everybody.
banter time, same banter channel, Facebook Live, YouTube, and we'll probably be back on Bid Chat as well. So we'll see you guys.
Bye.